I have disability related to chronic illness. I have an autoimmune system, which means that my immune system is on autopilot and attacks healthy cells. So the illnesses that I manage are Crohn's disease, lupus, and then also hypothyroid. And then from there, after having years of medications, it's done some degenerative issues with my spine and other joints, I guess. So yeah, disability related to chronic illness. So I was actually diagnosed first with Crohn's disease during my pregnancy for my daughter. She'll be 17 now, soon. In 2003, I was just a couple weeks pregnant and developed Crohn's disease. During my pregnancy, first trimester, I lost 30 pounds in the first 30 days of my pregnancy, and spent 3 weeks in intensive care in Grand Rapids, like fighting for our lives. So after that, I had been medicated on a very potent drug for Crohn's, and it induced lupus. And my physicians couldn't diagnose the lupus for many years. So ultimately, it became full-blown lupus instead of just drug-induced lupus. So what I've learned from my doctors is that, generally speaking, autoimmune kind of all runs together. Like, once your immune system is on autopilot and causing havoc in your body, it's just natural to develop more autoimmune diseases. Sure, absolutely. Well, that's with autoimmunity, you have to take immunosuppressant drugs, and I'm on a very strong immunosuppressant drug for Crohn's, and because of that, I would be at higher risk for not only contracting illness, but then also having less of an availability to fight the illness off. So certainly when COVID hit, I had been working part-time. Being on disability in this country, you have to work part-time if you're going to work at all. Otherwise, if you're able to work full-time, there's no need to be on disability. So I had been working part-time, going in and out of a home, providing behavior modification therapy. And the family that I worked for was more concerned about having someone in and out of the home. So ultimately, I lost that position because of the virus. So I have been selling antiques on and off for the past 10 years. Selling antiques came about as a result of my disability. I graduated from MSU in 2011, and within 2 weeks I had to have major surgery related to Crohn's disease. And it was suggested to me, well, why don't you just try selling antiques until you can go into your career field? So I started selling antiques in 2011, and I've had a couple different businesses at some of the local malls, but realized that in order for it to be a career, to make real money at it, with real connections in the community and whatnot, you have to have your own store. So I've been thinking about this for the past couple of years, and after losing my job because of the pandemic, I did the unemployment thing and just made the decision that either I was going to go find another position working with disabled children, or I was going to open a store. So August 1st, I just made the decision that I was going to live the dream and start a small business. A lot of people questioned my sanity. They said, you're autoimmune, you're chronically ill, do you really want your income coming from a small business? But from my perspective, it allows me the flexibility to do what I'm able to do when I'm able to do it. So, any amount of income is a result of my effort and my work and my ability. And it also keeps me from letting anyone down. It's very hard when you're working for an employer and you're chronically ill to be calling in sick, to be canceling with your employer. You feel a lot of shame and guilt, like you're letting your employer down, you're letting the child down, you're letting their family down. So this kind of saved me from those things. Yeah, so I named the store after my dad's lineage, which I'm really proud of. The Bauersachs family goes back 600 years to Germany, and so I'm a daughter of the American Revolution, um, and we're all one family. So if you have the last name Bauersachs, whether it's spelled the American way or the German way, you can find yourself in this family tree. And because of that, every year we have a family reunion. One year it'll be in the States, the next year it'll be in Germany. And I was fortunate enough to be able to go to Germany twice to visit my family over there. So I'm really close with them. We keep in touch. But yeah, we're just proud that, we look at our family. There's an astronaut, Ken Bauersachs, in our family. An American Idol runner-up, Crystal Bauersachs. And yeah, and that's all us. That's all us. So I'm really proud of it. My grandfather was my greatest inspiration. My grandfather worked for NASA. He worked for the CIA. He was very intelligent. And it was actually his collection of antiques at the age of 16 that drew me into wanting to collect antiques. So I kind of named it after him and my whole family, and hopefully I'll make him proud. So it took a lot of work, to paint the whole thing, to buy all the inventory. I've been traveling all over the state. I've had people ship me things from different parts of the country and the world. But it's been an adventure. And I can't say that I would want my life any other way right now. Like this is an adventure and I'm loving it. Just believe that you can do it. For me, I do a lot of dreaming. Like I see in my mind what I want my life to look like. So whether it's been, traveling overseas or starting a business or working for the president of Michigan State or, developing a nonprofit for the Army. I see it in my mind. And once you dream it and imagine it, then you can start making progress towards it. So, in our country, only 20% of people who are deemed disabled work. And all of those people, in order to gain benefits from our government, they have to live in a certain level of quality of life. You have to walk this very fine line of poverty if you're disabled. And I hope to show something different. I hope to show that people with disabilities can have just as much energy, just as much desire, just as much commitment to their personal development, to the development of their communities, their families, as anyone else. So that's kind of what my store is hopefully a reflection of. It's a store that's been built in love. And on this ideology that I can create my future. I can do whatever I dream I can do as long as I'm committed to putting forth that effort.